Hey, it's Tom. So, we've been playing with this What I Really Need in the Woods series. And just covering some things, right? So, here's what I really need in the woods. And I'm just saying this from experience. Not saying this is good for you. I'm not saying that you do what I do. I'm just saying me. I've been in the woods for most of my life. And this will go for the most experienced and the least experienced person out here. Okay. First off, I carry a knife. I carry a pocket knife, which is usually a Swiss Army knife because of the tool options. I carry a fixed blade knife. Pocket knives have, well, it's a beaver. Pocket knives have moving parts, which means they can break very easy. So, I always want a fixed blade knife with me. Now, I carry a fixed blade knife, I carry a pocket knife, and a lot of times I'll carry a boot knife. If all else fails, I've got a double edge. So you might as well say I've got 4, 5, maybe 6 blades at any time on me. Because the boot knife has 2 edges. My Swiss Army knife has 2 edges. The main blade would have 1 edge. Shelters. I carry a tent. It's a lightweight tent that weighs, I think, 1 pound 7. I also carry a 5x7 tarp to throw over that. So I have a little area I could sit outside the tent in case it's raining or dew fall, stuff like that. Cordage, I believe, was number 3. I carry paracord and I carry bank line. Bank line holds a better knot. Paracord holds more weight. And how I use that in conjunction with each other, the paracord usually hangs my bag at night. Or ties things down that, I'm not really that concerned about. If I want something that needs a tinsel knot strength, I'm going to bank line. And I could probably just go to bank line and have it over with, but I've had a ton of paracord here. Cooking sets. As you heard in the one video, I think it was number 10. I have a canteen set. I have a Pathfinder water bottle set. A German canteen mess kit. I do have just a billy pot set with like a tiny little frying pan that doubles as a lid. I haven't used that much. But I have a bunch of cook sets. And containers. I have stainless steel water bottles, obviously, the Pathfinder. I have an Nalgene canteen, a Blackhawk. The aluminum bottle with the German set. I just recently picked up another little 16-ounce flask-looking thing I put in my haversack. I covered cutting, cordage, cover, still can't remember them 5 C's, but I covered them. I know I did. As far as shelters are concerned, like I said, I've run for years with 2 ponchos and 2 garbage bags. The garbage bags are versatile because I could fill them full of leaves or ferns, grass, anything, and make semi-comfortable bed. I also use a headlamp. That doesn't mean I don't have a small flashlight with me, but a headlamp is preferable if that's all I'm taking. Sleeping bags, depending on what time of year it is. How cold is it going to be, whether it be a sleeping bag or just a blanket. So we've seen what I cover. Now my whole kit, including food and everything, runs out to about 13 pounds. Seriously, it does. It gets me through 2-3 nights with ease. If I could get another source of food, I could go on indefinitely with that kit. If I'm stuck out there indefinitely, I can always use a temporary shelter to build a permanent one. I don't have to worry about running out of blades. My haversack is a good canvas haversack that I always have with me. That'll hold water. I've already tried it. So that's all my kit that I carry. Now, I want to emphasize a lot of things here. I've said before, practice and knowledge, they run hand in hand. I'm practiced with my kit. I get rusty. The other night I found that out first-hand knowledge. I am rusty. But I got it up. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. I am looking for perfection. I'm looking for utilization. Now the other day, instead of taking the Pathfinder kit with me, I had just a stainless steel water bottle from the kit. And my cook set was in my backpack. So I didn't have to worry about, whether I could heat up food or whatever. What I carry with me, and it basically is a stripped down kit, is because, like I said, I've been out here doing this for a long time. And I want to put the disclaimer on this last segment of the video series. I don't condone anybody going out there with a minimal kit that you could possibly get hurt with. If you're not used to using that kit, don't go out there with it. Practice some dirt time where it's safe first with it. Get to know it. Not saying you're going to die. I've said this once before. There's been thousands upon thousands of hikers lost with no equipment and found days later. I don't want to see anybody say, hey, well, Tom told me this is all I need to take, and this is what happened to me. You practice with your kit. Knowledge is power. Practice is perfect. If you guys didn't practice driving a car, you'd still be, 10 miles an hour down the highway because you're afraid of it. Go out in the dark. Even if you just sit in your yard in the dark. Get used to being out there in the dark. It's a whole different scenario than in the daytime. For most people. What's out there in the daytime is the same thing that's out there at night. It's just that you can't see it, so you got to listen for it. So practice in the dark. If you get a new piece of gear, use it and practice with it until you're good enough to take it into the field and you're not going to get hurt. Like hammocks, for instance. And the gentleman I'm going to refer to is very practiced in use of hammocks. FS Bushcraft. Went on a camping trip with Colcraven. Sat down in his hammock and dumped out the back end of it because he just didn't get it right. From me using them and practicing in my yard, I realized that, hey, I have a hard time getting in and out of them. If I would have taken that right straight to the woods, yeah, I could have used it, yeah, but God only knows what would have happened in the aftermath. You need to practice. You need to get your kit out there. If you're going to carry a sidearm, practice with that sidearm. Don't just, okay, I got it with me. I could hit something. Doing anything under stress, which if you're surviving, you're under stress. If you need to use that sidearm, you're under stress. Takes muscle movement coordination. Setting up shelters, anything like that. So what I really need in the woods is what I put on here. It's not a whole lot of gear when you think about it. And you don't need a whole lot of gear. If you're going out there for one night, guys, let's be serious. You need water. You need something to cook in, cover, something to sleep in. Something to make your fire with and something to cut with. That's all you need. There's been many, many, many campouts with less equipment. I can tell you about campouts that I've been on that we slept under a tree, a down tree that we, attached one of our blankets over just to say we had something over our heads. I'm still here. So, it's a practice with the kit. Practice making fires, practice setting up shelters, practice. You get rusty. I don't go out in the back 40 anymore. But there's a lot of people on here that do. And the last thing you need is to be that far out and anywhere to find out, hey, I don't know how to use this piece of gear. It's not fun. Or to get out there that far and find out, oh man, this thing is worthless. Small story. I went on a camping trip one time when my son first got hurt. 6 years ago. 7 years ago. I bought a tarp. One of the poly tarps. I got out there, I set it up, and under tension the grommets ripped out. And they kept ripping and ripping. It was dry rotted, and I didn't know. It came out of a brand new package. I had a canteen strap break that night, and I also had a pack strap break that night because it was all new gear to me and never tried it out before, on short hikes, make sure that it's okay. And it wound up to where I got miserable and dug my heels in and I just said, you know what, I've had enough. And I went home. Had a whole trip ruined. Test it. Work with it. Practice. Gain as much knowledge as you can. You guys be safe out there doing this stuff. This is supposed to be for enjoyment. Some do make a living, but mostly for enjoyment. Be safe out there. Don't be stupid. So this is Tom. I hope you enjoyed this series, What I Really Need in the Woods. I hope I conveyed what I wanted to get conveyed in it. And like I said, you guys be safe out there doing this stuff. And we'll see you guys on the next video. You have a great weekend.